What's up, folks? Casual Dad here with a very exciting update for Warhammer Combat Cards. It's been a weird week where I've been doing double takes and trying to figure out what the heck is going on because the developers just rolled out an update where the AI will now have cards switch lanes. So we're going to play a couple games. We're just going to see how this works. And I'm just throwing out a Rackart deck. It's pretty wild. This is going to invalidate a lot of my previous videos, but I could not be happier. Because in the past, if you saw your opponent, the AI player, put down a card, you knew that card was going to stay in that lane until it died. Unless, of course, it had to move for some gameplay reason. But now, they move all over the place. You just saw that happen right there. And it moved again. Which does make a lot of games significantly more challenging. In the developer blog, they specifically called out Darkstrider, which absolutely makes sense because he's going to be a major one who's going to be changing all over the place. And note my two Anti-Infantry cards here, so we get to see a little bit more of that too. But yeah, so Darkstrider, it does seem like the AI tends to just move things more often than not necessarily because it's the better choice, but just to do it. Which is why Darkstrider is especially powerful. I have yet to play against a Tolmeron deck to see if it plays the big hitters early to make that a little bit scarier, but we'll see on that one. But yeah, it's pretty great. So I've been really excited about this. And I'm just playing some games, and you can see that moving. I'm probably going to play two. I don't want this to be super long. And then we'll kind of see how things go from there. Oh. Good thing my ace is still in my deck. There you go. Yeah, not a great start to this game. But that's okay. We are adapting, we are laddering, we're leveling up. So that is, but yeah, so that's the major update, just that. After this game, I'm probably going to jump in and do a quick check-in on the current campaign, just because we're here. It's about to end, so it's not going to be huge, but just to speak to it anyway. But yeah, so this is big. And again, I mentioned that this is going to invalidate a lot of my past videos. A lot of them were talking about things like why it was a really favorable matchup against certain warlords, especially Tolmeron, because he didn't use his ability ever. Or not Tolmeron, excuse me, Darkstrider, because the AI never moved cards, so it never used his ability at all. And now it does. Oh god. I do want to call this out. This is a melee... What you call it? The Yark, melee Yark, and he is giving me some trouble. This is something I've called out once or twice here and there, that you can do an all melee Yark and it still works, but it is pretty weird to still see that. And I should have this, but I do need to be careful. And this also makes good use of the ready debuffs. So debuffing your opponent as they're hitting your cards is really powerful too. And it's something that you don't see very often in these decks because usually they rely just on those ranged buffs. Ooh, we kind of have to do it, don't we? Sitting on a pretty high melee buff, he's going to shoot me again. Yeah, we're going to go and do this. I want to try to charge up my melee hits enough to where I can safely punch Yarick. And I think... Almost got it. Ideally, I want to take this guy down. Yeah, okay, I think I got it. Because Yarick is not going to be punchy enough to take down Rakarth, not with that much health. But still, I don't want to rest on that. Do I have enough to take him down? We got 187. Yeah, we got it. Sweet. Okay. Woo. First game being a loss on my recording would be a little bit embarrassing, but so there we go. Pretty cool. So I'm excited to see that. And so the big change again has been shouting out to Darkstrider because he's the one who definitely will work because cards will move. They may not make the optimal choices, but they at least will do it, which will make Darkstrider matchups considerably more exciting. And this has been cool. It's one of those things where you never really realized how big of a part of the game it was until you saw it changed, which I always really appreciate that. Yeah, so that's exciting. We're going to pop on the campaign real quick after I open this pack, maybe. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Pop one of these to open tomorrow morning. Excellent. And then we're going to jump into the campaign. This was the crazy campaign. I don't remember seeing this before. I might have just skipped it. But first encounter being a Battle Scars Tau. Brutal. So Battle Scars Tau against Tyranids with a bunch of Tyranid new cards that are heavy melee but also have ranged attacks. So this is a pretty devastating matchup, and I am still have 4 charges left, so I made through pretty well. I maxed out at level 15, got there a couple times, and then was promptly smacked back down. But yeah, and then my collection of cards is pretty grim. I could still play another round or two, but it's level 15. I'm going to lose the entire deck and the Warlord and then have nothing. And I think I have a total of like 100 points. Yeah, but it was fun. I enjoyed that, and it was fun to do that with the lane shifting opponents there. That's been a good time. That's really all I had to talk about. I wanted to go ahead and shout out the change of lanes. So let's go ahead and play one more quick game just to go ahead and show off another deck I'm using right now. Let's see, in my last video I showed off... Oh yeah, let's do that. Let's do it. So with the changes to Anti-Infantry and some other changes and the addition of Fear on a couple cards, I've been pulling Gosar back out and really, really enjoying it. Yeah, Gosar is a fun piece. I've always really liked Gosar, but it always just fell a little bit short in terms of power, usually because of durability. And so I've been kind of playing with things since the recent Tyranid changes have made them significantly more durable. Look at these. These 2 Fear melee cards are total game changers, and that's unfortunate. So we'll try to keep Open alive for a little bit. So like Death Leaper, for example, having that many hit points and Fear makes it really hard to bring down compared to what it was, which is such a great upgrade to Tyranids in general, and particularly good for Gosar because it's a heavy melee card that benefits late and early from Gosar's ability of just pumping that melee. That Furious Charge becomes really monstrous if you get it, if you have it in your deck for a while and it charges up a bit. But look at that, like this is against a Shaz-O deck, which should just completely chew right through Tyranids. And my Tyranids are higher level than these, but still, like this is a matchup that should not be favorable to Gosar, and it's going a lot better than it ever would have in the past. And that is awesome. Got a little taunt, and this, like the transformative new cards, like the 4-point taunt, oh, that's a bummer. The 4-point taunt is such a big change to the faction, I can't even talk about how good it is. And then on top of that, the newer cards, and then the Fear cards, it is just... Oh, and this guy getting the points cut, like, oh. I love this deck. I love this Gosar deck, and it's been quite a while coming that I was able to build one that I felt this good about. This is a competitive Gosar deck in the ladder. I'm going to see how high it goes, which is great, and this also completely invalidates my Gosar guides in the past, so I'm not looking forward to having to redo all of my guides, but you know what? I'm still pumped about the beefy Gosar. So there you go. That was it. We'll go ahead and leave it at that. Appreciate the time, and see you out there.